things you say, things you do can either destroy your children or build them. With words of mouth, you can kill your children's self-esteem. And with words of mouth, you can actually build them. So, in this video, I want to talk to you about the dangers in comparing your children to other children. And this is the common way that we see parents actually dealing with their children. You know, a lot of times we want to correct children, and then what you end doing is comparing them to other children. In fact, some may even compare, a particular child to his or her siblings, saying that, don't you see your brother? Don't you see your sister? Why can't you behave like them? Can't you see that child? Can't you see your friends? Can't you see the way they behave and all that? Yeah, it's good. You want to correct your children and you really want them to be great. But trust me, comparing them or throwing it to their faces like they are not good enough and they have to be like another person, it's really, it has a lot of negative impact on them. It does more harm than good. Yes, it is good to correct children, but you need to find a better way of doing this. And this is the best way to go, for you to let your children know the repercussions of doing a particular thing. You need to let them know the advantages and disadvantages. Just be plain about it. If your child is eating things that can actually be unhealthy to him or her, then you need to go in the way of educating such a child, through medical lines, and letting your child know that, okay, this thing that you are eating can harm you and it will not be good for you. Don't say, oh, that's how you grow too fat and everything. You are talking to a girl child and you are like, you see the way you are going, you may not see any man to marry you because you are growing too big. That's destroying a child's self-esteem. We have a lot of, preteens, teenage girls, teenage boys out there with destroyed self-esteem. They don't even think good about themselves. All they end up doing is comparing themselves to other people. They are walking in the shadows of other children. They don't really believe that they can be themselves and that they are unique in themselves and they are great and they can be better. So what they end up doing is judging themselves from the perspective of others. Using other people for their own standards. Because that is how you, as a parent, is building your own children. And that is why they are like that. You need to build children to be strong and resilient, knowing that, okay, they can always be better than their yesterday's version and not comparing themselves to other children. So it is wrong for you to say, can't you see the way your friends are maintaining their stature? Look at how big you have grown these days because you eat all sort of rubbish. That is wrong. But if you go in the way of, oh, this thing is not good for your health, if you even research it, you will see that, eating too much of fat is this, is that. You need to be comfortable with yourself. Okay, you can, exercise your body, so that you can be healthy, you can carry out your activities so that you not be sleeping too long and you can be fit to carry out your activities. Talk plainly without referring to, someone, intimidating them. That is very, very wrong. Every children cannot be the same. Trust me. And if you want to be sincere with yourself, some children, while growing up, they will talk, so fast. They'll be fast, their voices will open so fast. They can talk so clear, okay, at a very early age. Some, children, they walk so fast. I've heard of, children walking, by 7 months old, 7-month-old child, already walking. Like really walking, not, standing and falling. 7 months, 8 months. And you will see some children, 1 year, 2 months, they are still struggling to carry one foot, carry a step and all that. But eventually the child will walk. Because that child is unique. If everything medically is okay, with the child. If you have done everything and they say, oh, medically the child is fine, the child will walk. Some children, the way they grow teeth, you just see them before they open their mouth, teeth are there. And you see some children, I've seen a child before, almost of the same age bracket with my son. And, 1 year, 3 months. In fact, you hardly see anything like teeth in her mouth. But eventually, she has teeth. Of course, in her own time. Because everyone is unique. God has made us unique. So we can only look at ourselves and say, oh, what are the things left for me to improve on? That is how you should train your children. Your children should be able to do self-assessment, assess themselves and say, oh, these are the things I'm not doing right. Okay, let me improve in this way. And not just using other people for their own standard. So stop destroying your children's self-esteem. Just stop making them feel inferior or uncomfortable. Stop comparing them. Of course, some children naturally will grow up to be like more of introverts. They just want to be, alone. But because you want that child to improve socially, you want, your child to be able to socialize with other children and to have good interpersonal relationship, then you begin to talk to your child. It's good for you to relate with people. You don't have to live in isolation. In discussing with people, you can also learn from them. You can do this, you can do that. So gradually, create a routine when all the family will come together. Everybody must come out from their rooms, come together as family. So maybe there is a family show, all of us watch together. Maybe there is a family game, chess board, Scrabble, all those kind of game. You create it in a way that everybody must play. So through that, you can begin to build such a child confidence. The child may begin to actually have confidence to interact and everything. And some children are just extrovert. They talk so much. They want to talk about everything. You really want that child to grow, mature with that kind of. It's a good attribute. You don't have to kill it, but how to moderate it, how to make sure that it's not in excess, and that when the child talks, the child actually makes sense and not just, spilling rubbish and all that. So these are training you can give your children for them to be resilient, for them to be strong, for them to know how to handle failure and how to handle success, for them to know how to, assess themselves, not just, judging from people's perspective. For them to assess themselves, and be courageous enough to actually make necessary correction and not like, oh, look at the clothes that this person is wearing, so I have to wear that kind of clothes. That's, a low self-esteem. Oh, look at the way this person talks. I want to talk like this person. I want to walk like this person. I want to dress like this person. I want to be like this person. Let your children, learn to model themselves, okay, and be better than their yesterday's version. I'm not talking down on them and destroying their self-esteem. So as a parent, you need to watch this. There's always every tendency, that there's always that push, especially when you get angry to a child that you want, you have been looking for some improvement and all that. You say, look at your friends, look at this, can't you see? Look at your brother, look at your sister. No. Don't do that. Okay? You will only destroy things. You won't be building anything at all. So it's not easy to be parents. Okay? It's not easy to be a parent. It calls for what? Courageous action. You're strong. That you're a parent. You're very, very strong. And that is why I always pray that God will always strengthen our parents. Peace.